Hello and welcome to an updated Ultima 3 tutorial. Yogi the Monk here. We've got... I guess the big new thing is Squib's experience route is very strong. And aside from that, I'll talk about everything in the run. As the old tutorial is just all text and it's horrible. It's all text describing audio cues and no pictures. I don't know what I was thinking. Anyways, let's jump in here. First thing is when you hit reset, you have to watch all this opener, and you don't get control until you've watched all of this. There's no skipping it. And then you hit start, and then you hit the file screen. But we can skip all that. This is called the B trick. You hold B and you reset, and it skips you directly to here. You don't have to watch all that. So that's the first important thing to know. Once we're on the file screen, the next important thing to know is as long as you have not saved anywhere in an inn as you're playing the game, you're fine to not remake your characters and all that. So as long as your party starts right here on this screen here, one tile under the castle, you're good to go. We can use that that file is now okay to use for the speedrun. But let's pretend like we saved in an inn somewhere and we're inside of the castle sleeping at the inn. In this case, we need to erase the file, start a new one. You can name it whatever you want. Once we go in, we need to create characters because currently you can see the roster here. There's no characters, so we need to create some. We're gonna hand make them because the ready-made ones are no good for speedrun. Hand make. The race, this only matters for the maximum stat of certain stats. So like, I'm pretty sure Fuzzy can have 99 ints. Human might have like 75 of everything max. It has to do with the max stat that you can possibly get. But we never need over 25 stats, so you can pick whatever you want. Let's pick a Fuzzy. And your leader, this is the first character, so this is the leader of the party. And leader needs to be Druid or Ranger. The reason for that is because there's two spell schools. Wizard spell school and Cleric spell school. Cleric focuses on healing and Wizard focuses more on damage. But the Druid and the Ranger can use both spell schools. But they have less mana starting out. So either one can use both spell schools, but they only start with 12 mana instead of 25. So they're hybrid casters. Let's pick Ranger, and to get a Ranger to have 12 mana, we need 25 int and 25 wisdom. To get a Druid to have 12 mana, it needs 25 int, I believe, and 25 of whatever else you want. Probably strength is best. Actually, for starting out, you probably want Druid, just in case you don't have a perfect run and you need to melee something with your Druid. But if you don't make any mistakes, either one's fine. And for Ranger, you need 25-25. There's no room for strength here. But Druid can have strength, so if you're starting out, Druid might be better. But for now, I'll pick Ranger. And this will be Danny. Second character, handmade. Pick whatever race you want. The remaining characters need to be wizards with strength and int. The important thing here is int needs to be 25. Your other 25 stats can be whatever you want, but the only real benefit is strength. as it makes them hit harder, in case you run into a situation where you run out of mana, which shouldn't happen, but it might happen if you make mistakes. So, important thing, ints. Secondary, kind of nice to have, is strength. This gives the wizard, the int gives the wizard 25 mana, which is needed. Alright, this is gonna be... Joey, third character, handmade, whatever race you want, wizard, int 25, whatever else you want for the other 25. Okay, last character, whatever race you want, wizard, 25 ints, needed, 25 strength, nice to have. Okay. Okay, so we've got our 4 characters, and once we have them all made, go to previous menu, go to form party, and when you hit A, a little spiral symbol stays next to it. That means you've selected that one, so select all of them, and then hit select, make sure they're all selected, and then once you're on end, you can hit A, and you get to this cutscene. This cutscene is not important, it's not part of the speedrun. And what we want to do now is a B trick back to the start. Now let me talk about the frame counter. When we hit reset here, the frame counter is already going. So there's a number 0 to 255, and every frame the number goes up by 1, and then starts at 0. So every frame it's going up by 1. So every 256 frames it resets. And that just keeps going from here, from when you hit reset. So that's important because we want to kind of perfectly move into the Cave of Fire. It doesn't have to be exact, but you got to be fast here on this menu. So the menu here is A down to continue A. So it's A down A. It's pretty fast, and if you make any like massive mistakes, you want to reset. So B trick, A down A. Something quick like that is good enough. Doesn't need to be perfect. It needs to be good though. It needs to be very good, but not perfect. There's a couple frames wiggle room either direction. So again, it's A down 8. See, I didn't get it, so just do B trick again. Didn't get it. A down 8. If you try to go too fast, you get stuck on certain things. All right. We won't do it timed, but let's just show where the Cave of Fire is. But time starts, your split start there when you first see your character appear below the castle. Here's Cave of Fire, and you can see by the time we walk into here, let's look over at our status and talk about things that are going on. We've got our name, then we've got GMFR, that's Good Male Fuzzy Ranger. Good is your status. That could be poisoned later on, but male is your sex, and fuzzy is your race, and ranger is your profession. Below that, we've got HP is 0150. I can go up into the thousands, I believe. Then your mana on your ranger is 12. That's important. We need 12 mana on the ranger or the druid, and 25 mana on all the wizards. So I do see that that is the case here, so we're good. Your third line is food is 150. We beat the run so fast that we don't care about food, so that's fine. And level 1 on everybody. And your FW is your fuzzy wizards. That's about all for the status. You can see the direction you're facing at the top of the screen, because we're in a dungeon. And level 1 means we're on the first floor of the dungeon. The Cave of Fire, which we're currently in, has 8 floors, and the stuff we want is on the 8th floor. Let's go look at the wizard spells now. So our ranger does not have Descend and Ascend because he doesn't have enough mana. Because it costs 15 and 20 mana, and he only has 12. He does have lights, so if you wanted to look around a little bit to see what's going on, you're in a dungeon. It's the Cave of Fire, and you can move around and walk down the halls and stuff. Or you could just stand in one spot and spin, which is what I'm doing now. This replenishes 1 mana for each character that's missing a mana for every 4. So let's cast Light again. Takes us down to 2 mana. Okay, so he just ticked 4 mana, so if I go left, right, the mana ticks up by 1. So every 4 inputs, you gain a mana. And there's 0 chance of getting into a random battle if I'm spinning around on a tile like this. So we can stand on one spot, spin around, gain all of our mana back, and then use our wizards, who have the Descend spell, to go down a floor. So now we're on floor 2. And then if I use the other one, Descend, we're on floor 3. Use another one, Descend, we're on floor 4. Now they don't have enough mana to cast it because it costs 15. But we don't want to walk around and get a random battle, so we're going to spin in place until 15 mana. And then we can do another round. Descend, Descend, Descend. So now we're on floor 7. This is 1 floor above floor 8, which is the final floor, which is where everything we want is. And that's the basic idea of it. You enter the cave, you use all your wizards to descend down to 7. You hang out there for a little bit, waiting for an audio cue. At an exact moment, you descend down to floor 8, land next to one of the things we want, the Mark of the Fire, grab it, put it on everybody, ascend up to a random spot on floor 7, then we wait for another audio cue, descend back down to a fixed spot on floor 8, grab the Mark of the Force, and there's a ladder down there as well, and we use that to climb back up to floor 5, and then from floor 5 we spin around for mana more on our wizards and ascend our way all the way out of the dungeon. So let's show the show floor 8 only. The first 7 floors don't matter what they really look like. I believe in very rare circumstances you might land on a fountain, but it's so rare that if that happens, just reset and get back in there. So anyway, here's floor 8. This is the floor that has everything that we want. And we only want 2 things. We want the Mark of the Fire, which is this candle, and we want the Mark of the Force, which is this sword. And once you get down there, you can put this mark on all 4 party members. Every time you do it, they take 50 damage. But now they've got the Mark of the Fire. Like it's kind of like a tattoo or like a brand that they put on their arm or something. But anyways, it makes them immune to lava. And then this other one, Mark of the Force, it's the same thing. They'll take 50 damage by putting it on their arm. And that will make them immune to force tiles, which cause damage if you try to walk over them. All of these tiles, the lava and the force tiles, cause so much damage that we need these things, because if not, people will start dying, or you need to heal so much that it's just faster to get these marks now. Otherwise, you could skip them all and just out-heal it, but man, you don't want to do that. Anyways, so our goal is to land our first one. You want to land next to the Mark of the Fire somewhere. You want to land adjacent to it, here or here. Now let's talk about that counter again. Remember that counter was 0 to 255, and every frame it goes up by 1. So here, let's do an example. Floor 8 is 16 by 16 tiles, so there's 256 tiles. And this is 0, tile 0, this is tile 15 in the upper right corner. This is 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So let's say we cast Ascend on our wizard. We're on floor 7. We cast Ascend, and let's say that counter, which is always cycling, when you cast Ascend, let's say that it was at the number was 21. Well, you'll land here on this tile here. Okay, let's talk about what happens if you land in a wall. So, well, we want to land down here. So if you land here in this wall or this wall, it'll zip you out to here. One tile left of the Mark of the Fire. If you land on the Mark of the Fire, it'll zip you to here, which is one right of the Mark of the Fire. Or you could just straight up land here or here. So there's 5 frames where we get the optimal results and just land next to the Mark of the Fire. So any 3 of these frames on the left, we land here, to the left of it, and any 2 of these frames, the mark itself or the one to the right, we end up here. And since we're facing east when we do this, our strategy then is to hit down, which will backpedal us. Well, if you're here, it'll try to backpedal you into the wall, which you can't do, so nothing will happen. And then you say, oh, nothing happened, now I hit up. And then you walk into it. If you land there, you backpedal into it. So either way, you end up on the Mark of the Fire in one step with that strategy. The other one's even easier because you've got all these wall tiles here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10. Any 10 of these tiles ends you up here because you'll zip all the way to here automatically if you land on any one of these. So you'll zip to here, then you face north, you face east, take 3 steps forward, you put the mark on everybody, you backpedal out to here, you turn south, and then there's a ladder here. This is a ladder, and it goes all this ladder. Above this ladder is another ladder and another ladder, and it takes you all the way up to floor 5. And once you're on floor 5, you can start spinning on wizards and use the Ascend spell to get the rest of the way out. The ladder is very nice because it saves you a lot of time, because it saves like 3 Ascend casts, which is like 20 mana each. Otherwise, you would have to spin a lot more. But let's say you messed up and the first one, somehow you ended up Force first and then Fire second. Let's say you got that done somehow. And you're not by the ladder, you're over here somewhere. You're on the Mark of the Fire. Well, you could just ascend all the way out of the dungeon with you know, 8 ascends. You don't need the ladder is just nice because it's fast. But ideally, you want Fire first, Force second, and then ladder up to 5, and then ascend your way out. And I think that's it for the first section here. I'm going to stop and restart it back up here when we actually show what this looks like in a real run. Hey, welcome back. I want to talk about the music in the Cave of Fire, so let's just go walk down there without talking about too much else. The goal is to walk near perfectly to this cave so that this song starts up on about the same frame from the reset every time you do it. So let's just listen to the music a little bit. You've got this fast part. I'm going to call this fast part. It has many, it repeats many times. Okay, here's the next part. It's ba-da. So there's the 2 badas. And there's the repeating part. Same note over and over and over. And that's the whole song. We're back to the beginning. Okay, it's fast part, bunch of fast part, 2 badas, repeating part, and then it loops back to the beginning. That's the song, and you gotta be familiar with it. Let's talk about the 2 things we're aiming for. We got 2 audio cues we need. One is to get down to the fire, one is to get down to the force. So the first one is going to be second beat of the fourth measure after the repeating part. So basically at the beginning of the song. So here's the repeating part. After the repeating part, we start counting. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, go. When I said go, it was the second beat of the fourth measure, and that's when you would hit the A button to descend. The next audio cue after that is the ba of the bada, of the very first bada. So here it comes. After the fast part is the bada. Ba. On the first one. So on the bada, on the ba, you hit descend. That's to get to the mark of the force. That's the second one. So let's go over both of them one more time. And then we'll actually show what it looks like in practice. Here's the fast part. At this point we're still descending down and getting our mana back. And eventually we just hang out on floor 7 and wait until the audio cue happens. Where we will cast descend to go down to floor 8. Okay, so remember, Mark of the Fire, the first one, is second beat of fourth measure after the repeating part of the music. Here's the repeating part. Get ready to count. 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2. Right on the 2, we wanted to hit descend. And now we're getting the Mark of the Fire. And getting back up to 7, getting our mana and all that. And then once we're ready to go on 7, we're waiting for the next audio cue, which is the ba of the bada. So here it comes. Get ready for it. Ba. Bada. On the first of the 2 badas. On the ba. Hope that makes sense. But that's the end of this section. And next section we're going to actually put it all into practice. And get the Mark of the Fire and the Mark of the Force on everybody, and escape the cave, and get back to the overworld. Here we go, we're gonna put everything that we just talked about into practice, and grab the Mark of the Fire, put it on everyone, grab the Mark of the Force, put it on everyone, and escape the cave via the ladder, hopefully, followed by a bunch of wizard ascents. So, here we go, we need the B trick followed by quick menu. Doesn't have to be a perfect menu, but it needs to be fairly quick. A down 8. There we go. That might be too fast. Perfect walk into the cave. I'm gonna try to go a little later this time because I've been recently too early, so you want to try to adjust. Alright, we descend all the way down to floor 7. We're just on a random spot on floor 7, pretty much. And we're gonna spin to 25 mana and then wait on the audio cue and descend on the audio cue, which is second beat, fourth measure after the repeating part of the music, which is, repeating part is here. So get ready to count. 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2. Got it. Status everyone the mark, and let's spin to 15. You could get more here if you want. Bada. Right on the bot. Gets you there to the mark of the force. Make sure you don't double put the mark on someone. Back pedal to the wall. Turn to the south, 5 forward to the ladder, climb to floor 5, and ascend on whoever has mana. So 20 mana to ascend. And we're off a little bit. We're not gonna get the good overworld RNG here, but that's fine. I've got a save state with it, but we don't need it. I'm actually gonna play it. Nah, we're not. We're just gonna show the good overworld RNG coming up here. So here we go. When DJ hits 20 exactly, then you ascend, and that's it for that section. We got everything. We got the Mark of the Force on everybody, and you can see if you go status over there on the left, Force and Fire. So everybody's got it. This is kind of like where you equip things, which never needs to happen in the speedrun, but second wizard's got Force and Fire, third wizard's got Force and Fire, fourth wizard's got Force and Fire. You don't need to check this, but you know, it's there. So moving on next, we need to do the experience grind, and we'll see you there. Alright, we made it through the Cave of Fire. Got the Mark of the Force on everyone. And now we're outside. Now if you do everything kind of the same way every time, and you ascend, you do your final ascend right when the mana hits 20 on the last person, you should have the same overworld RNG every time. It's not needed, but it's nice. It has a large number of enemies, and at this point in the run, we need to grind the leader, druid or ranger, to level 5, and whoever gets the killing blow gets the experience. And to get to level 5, you need 400 experience. Let's talk about the different types of enemies. We've got undead packs, skeletons or zombies. Those will give you 4 experience for each kill. So if you kill an 8-pack, it's 32 experience. And there's humanoids, goblins, and orcs. And killing one of those gives you 3 experience. So killing an 8-pack of those gives you 24. So the difference is pretty big if you get lucky, and it's 50-50. Like every time you run into an enemy, it's a coin flip whether you get undead or humanoids. And I have no way to perfectly manip that. It's just luck of the draw. And yeah, if you get a lot of undead, you're lucky, and you'll get through faster in fewer fights. But need 400 experience at, if you got all undead, you got the best run possible. That's what, 100, killing 100 undead divided by 8-pack. So it's like 12 and a half fights, so 13 fights, and the last fight could only have 4 undead. So 12 8-packs and a 4-pack would be the absolute god run, which no one will ever get, unless you figure out a way to manipulate it to get undead every time. And then so that's 13 fights basically. And if you've got all humanoids, you need like 134 humanoid kills to get your 400 experience, and then divide by 8. So you need 17 fights. So the difference is 13 fights versus 17 fights. It's pretty big, and 17 fights is the most you'd ever have to do. But at that rate, if you're getting humanoid every single time, you might just consider a reset, because again, this is 2 minutes into the run, and yeah, it's not that big of a deal to reset. So let's look at let's look at this battle chart here. Before we start, these are the formations, and we'll include this this link in the description. But these are the formations of enemies. Everything in these top 2 rows, these are all 8-packs. You can see the number 8. 8, 8, 8. These are kind of hard to read at first, but you get used to it. But all these 8s mean these are 8-packs. And then down here in this row, these are 7-packs. And then if you go down, these are 6. All of these are 6-packs. All of these are 7-packs. And all of these 10 at the top are 8-packs. You mostly want to deal in 8-packs because these are the easiest ones. They're the fastest ones. And if you mess up and you have to do something that isn't an 8-pack, you're punished by having to do algebra to fix it. So if you're good and you never make mistakes and you get nothing but 8-packs, you never have to do algebra. Let's just talk about what we're looking at here. These stars are the locations of the enemies. So in an 8-pack, the standard formation is that. That's kind of how they're positioned. This is the pack where you cast your undead or you cast your repel, and everything in this pack just dies in one cycle. That's this one. Okay. Anything else here? The position is what is left after you cast it. So there's a big triangle one. There's a kind of flat one with one up here. This is the isosceles triangle one. This is the one where there's 5 that survive. This is a lone survivor in the upper right. This is a lone survivor on the right. This is kind of like vertical triangle. These 3 are alive. The F is a unit as well. We'll talk about the letters later. 3 are alive here. The 2 stars and the M. And then 4, this is the worst one. 4 are alive. And this is a 3-rounder. That's why it says 3 round here. Okay. So far so good. The numbers underneath is how many steps do we need to take after the battle's over before we encounter the next enemy. So if you get this big triangle, like, okay, we get into the 8-pack, we cast undead, it kills off everything but these 3 in the big triangle shape. Okay, we cast another undead on the second turn and it kills the rest of them. All of these 8-packs will die in 2 cycles. Minus the first one, this is a 1 cycle. The next 8 are 2 cycles, and the last one is a 3 cycle. So you'll have to cast undead 3 times here, or repel if it's humanoid. But 3 times casting here, 2 times on everything else, and then 1 time on the first one. So the first one is by far the fastest. Okay, let's talk about the numbers at the bottom. So after you get this big triangle pattern, and then you kill the big triangle with 1 more cast, then after the fight's over, you want to take either 15 or 24 steps before you encounter the next battle. And we'll go over this more in detail when we watch the run, but for now, if you're just winging it, just pick one. If it's more convenient to do less steps is better because you got to do 9 less steps than 24. But we'll talk about kind of like the ideal scenario later. But anyways, if you're just winging it, just pick one of these numbers, and after the battle's over, take that many steps. Or it can be a combination of the B button and that many steps. So let's say we take 10 steps and an enemy's getting close, but not like maybe 3 tiles away or so. We take 10 steps. The enemy's coming. He's moving towards us. We can hit the B button 5 times real quick. So 10 steps plus 5. B button pushes gives us this 15. Or you can take 5 steps and hit the B button 10 times. Any combination works. And you could even add 32 to anything. So take 15 and then take 32 more. Go off some, like, let's say you take 15 and there's no enemies around. It's completely barren wasteland, no enemies. Take 32 steps and you're still on the 15. Because these cycle by 32. So that's what the numbers at the bottom mean. After the battle, that's how many steps or steps plus B button pushes you take. If you get this isosceles triangle pattern, so in this one here, these 3 are alive, and the 2 at the bottom and the 1 at the top. If you get that pattern, you want to missile the right bottom one with one of your wizards, and he doesn't need to move; he's already lined up. So after your leader kills off these 5 in the middle, these 5 dots, which are now dead, these 3 are left, and then your wizard needs to missile this right one. And sometimes that'll kill it. If it's undead, it won't kill it. But sometimes if it's goblin or orc, it'll kill it, and that's bad. And you have to figure out... I forget exactly what to do in that situation, but you gotta save state and figure it out. Basically, figure out how many steps after that battle where you accidentally kill it you need to get another 8-pack, because I don't remember that number. But anyways, that's a missile. Missile on your wizard, the right one. If you get this pattern, you got 5 guys alive. Take your wizard and flame. There's a wizard spell called flame. You want to flame this back right one. That kills it. And that removes that amount of experience from your leader. So you want to subtract off 3 or 4 experience from your leader. During this time when we're killing things, I'm on a calculator, adding it all up, adding up how much experience is going on the leader, because every kill that he gets, whoever gets the kill gets the experience. All right, nothing special on this one. It's just a lone survivor that you would repel or undead. Nothing special on this one. It's just in a different spot. This one is kind of 3 guys live. It's the top guy, the bottom left guy, and the upper left guy. And you want to flame with your left wizard before you do your second repeller undead on your leader to kill these 2. And then this one is this guy's alive, this guy's alive, this guy's alive. You want to missile the middle one. And then you hope to never see this one because this one is very slow. It's a 3-rounder. Alright, we talked about all the 8-packs here. And now we want to talk about non-8-packs. You hope to never see one, but this will happen. And you do need to know how to wing it. So, let's say you get into your first battle and oh no, it's not an 8-pack. They started out with 7 and this is their this is their formation here. So there's no guy here and there's just 7 guys in the other spots. In this case, you want to repeller undead on your leader, as always, on your first turn. Okay? And then, depending on how many guys survived, you have to use the formula 2x plus 1. So let's say you repelled, and let's say these bottom 2 survived. So only 2 survived. Then we plug that into the formula 2x plus 1. So 2 times 2 plus 1 is 5. And then we subtract 5 from this from these numbers here. So we have -5 and +4. This is pretty confusing, but we'll do more examples later in a real game. And then you just keep doing that. If you cast repel and there are more, let's say you cast repel again and there's still a survivor, you plug in one guy into 2x plus 1, which is 3, and you subtract off 3 from these numbers at the bottom. And you keep doing that. You're altering these numbers until you get a count, and then you use that count to move to the next battle to get an 8 back. But we'll touch more on that later, because that's a lot more complicated than the 8 packs. And you've got 2 different rows of numbers here, because we don't always know. Like if you're on this 7 pack, you don't know if you're on this one or this one. You just gotta guess. And if you're wrong, well, you lose time and you don't get an 8 pack on the next pack. But this is all to ensure that you get 8 packs in every fight. You can still just always wing it and be slow, but to save time, you need to try to get nothing but 8 packs. These are all the 7 packs, and this guy right here is the 1 pack. So if you enter a fight and there's one guy right there, this is that one here. And then these are all the 6 packs. These are all the 5. These are the 3 5 packs. These are the 3 4 packs. These are the 3 3 packs and the 3 2 packs. But hopefully, if everything's going well, you get nothing but 8 packs. You don't have to use algebra to worry about the encounters. So let's actually just go look at world record run, and we'll go back to here. So here we go. I'm leaving the Cave of Fire, and we go to this spot here. At this point, we risk a battle here. I don't want the battle here. I want the battle up here. But we got lucky enough to get to this spot. Given that we made no mistakes earlier on, no extra B button pushes anywhere, and no extra steps anywhere, we should have this overworld RNG where we have 2 guys in this area. And that means if you walk to here, you walk all the way down to this river and then up one here, then this first battle, which will automatically just attack you if you just stand still, will be an 8 pack. And that's kind of the start that you want. You don't. I mean, this isn't always going to happen. If you get through the Cave of Fire, you might get like a 6 pack here, and then you got to go to the charts, use algebra, and we'll do examples of that in the next section. But for now, we'll just go over what a fast run looks like. On this good overworld RNG, you just cast Undead, and it kills everything. This is on the chart. This is that first one that was a 1 cycle. First one in the upper left-hand side of the chart. Kill everything, and then after the battle, you don't want to touch anything. You want the next guy to just run into you. Okay, that was 0 steps. You get another 8 pack, and we got lucky again and got Undead. So far we've got 64 experience after this battle, because it's 4 experience per Undead, and we got 2 8 packs so far. So that's 32 plus 32, 64. And you saw again, it was another 1 cycle. Got it all in 1 Undead. After this battle, you want to take 22 steps. So right now we're going over the ideal, like, optimal experience grind. This is found by Squib, and I think altered a little bit by me. And this is what I used in the record run. But it's like 90% Squib, and like I made like maybe a little adjustment to it somewhere, but I forget what it was. Anyways, after the second battle, it's 22 steps. So we start counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So I took a bunch of B button pushes there up until 20, and then I took 2 more steps for 21 and 22. Any combination of steps and B button pushes is fine. So yeah, after the second battle, we wanted 22 steps to get another 8-pack. We got lucky again, got another undead pack. And then this one is... you cast undead. And these 3 guys in the lower right survive. So if we go back to the charts... that's this one here. This guy survived. And it's either going to be 23 or 0 steps afterwards. We'll go over that. We'll go over that later. But it's this pattern here, and you see the middle one is missile. Okay, so after I undead them with that wizard there, I cast the missile. That's just so that you 2-cycle it with your leader. So they all move forward, and then on the second cast, it kills them all. Again, this is the ideal kind of routing you want. After this fight here, we want to just stand still. So just 0 steps. You'll get another 8-pack. The problem with this part is the enemies don't always spawn in the same spots or at all. And if you don't have the same overruled RNG as me, then it's going to be completely different. You just have to kind of wing it. But ideally, if you can get these step counts after each battle, it's really good. So in this one, we cast Repel, which is a wizard spell, not the cleric undead spell, because these are humanoids. And again, remember that you cast the spell. I didn't go over this, but when the right foot is highlighted, that's when you cast, and then you'll hit your spell. If the left foot is highlighted and you cast, you're gonna miss, guaranteed. This was kind of a way for them to simulate kind of randomness, I guess, but if you're aware of it, then you can just always hit your spell. And in this battle, it looks like this is the good one again. This is the 1-cycle. So this is battle number 4. So far we've had 3 undeads for 96 experience, and this was humanoids for 24, so we're up to 120 experience. So you should be counting along the way. But you can check in the status if you lose count, but it's faster if you just keep count on your own along the way. But for early runs, you can just check the status every once in a while. But to be faster, you don't want to go into the status menu just to check that when you could be counting. So that was the 1-cycle. After this 1-cycle, I take 32 steps. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 1, 2. And you're just taking steps, counting, and every time you hit the B button, you add 1, count it up to 32, and then oftentimes I'll stop it. I'll try to stop the B button pushing when I'm like a step away, so that on the last step, 32, I can walk into it. And this gives us unlucky humanoid pack, so we add 24 experience. It's another 8-pack, which is great because we don't have to do algebra. And it's the big triangle. So this is big triangle. And this was the second one here, this one. So big triangle there, there, and there. Those guys lived. After this one, we're going to take 24. If you're winging it, take either one. But if you're like super fast and getting the optimal patterns here, you want to take the 24 here. All right, let's go back to the video. Big triangle. We're going to take 24 steps. After this one, after this 2-cycle, here I want to take 24, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, there I kind of, there's nothing exact there. You're just kind of walking and trying to find more enemies. I kind of wanted a pack of 2 of them together, but that's pretty advanced. Because I know that the next 2 packs, the next pack that I get is a 0 after the fight. So I want two enemies close together to go faster, because then the second enemy will just walk right into me immediately. And I don't have to move. I don't have to wait for something to come from a far distance. But at this point, after your 5 battles, it starts looping. So battle 6 here is the same as battle 1. And it's going to be a 1 cycle. Alright, and then after this is 0 steps. We just stand here. We get another 1 cycle. After this one is 22 steps. Okay, here I started status glitching a bit here. So it's because this enemy is, I haven't taken my 22 steps yet. And this enemy is going to attack me because he's adjacent. So what you can do is go into the status by hitting A and going to status, and then just hitting B out of it, like cancel out of it. Take a step or 2, and then go into status again. Every time you go into the menu with A, add 1 to your count. So every time I go in for status, I'm adding 1 to the count. Every time I'm taking a step, I'm adding 1, and every time I'm hitting the B button, I'm adding 1. So the status there causes status glitch, which means that enemy can't attack me. He just kind of freezes for a little bit, and since we're on the overworld, it's not that good, it's not that strong, but later on in Ambrosia, we do it much more, and it's much stronger there. But on the overworld, it lasts for a second or 2. So you have to keep redoing it if you're in danger of being attacked. So that's what I do there. And then I get my count to 22 before I kind of want these close to each other so the next guy doesn't have to walk very far to get to me. So this is this isn't going to be a 1 cycle because we just had 2 1 cycles. You're never going to get 3 1 cycles in a row, I don't think, unless you can find that and route it out. But yeah, this is the 9th one on the chart, where you missile the middle one for luck, and no steps afterwards, same as before. We'll go over at the very end the ideal kind of situation, and then after this section we'll kind of show like a random wing it attempts where I'm just kind of like messing up and stuff. All right, after that one is 32, because that was a 1 cycle. So 32 steps after. And then you get big triangle again. We're back to big triangle. This is battle number 10, and it's the same as battle number 5. So every 5 battles, it starts over. But you don't need any of this. You can just wing it. Like that's how I used to do it. You just wing it. This is just kind of like optimal patterns to hit. We're back to this is battle 11, so it's the same as battle number 1. So this is just going to be a 1 cycle. And we're counting up this whole time. When I get close to 400 experience, I want to start heading north to the town. This is another 1 cycle, and then after we take 22 steps again. before we hit the town, I'll or no, when the experience grind is over, I'll go back to the chart and show like the 5 optimal kind of battles that you want to aim for. Of course, again, it's not needed. Really, the only goal is to hit 400 experience. So once you're here grinding, it's like you're gonna hit that. It's just how fast is it gonna be? Because you know, if you keep hitting 2 packs and 3 packs, it's gonna be a really long time. This is the 13th battle. So it's the missile, the middle one, and then after the battle is 0 steps. This is another 1 cycle. After the battle is 32 steps. So yeah, these are the ideal ones you want to aim for. But if you get off, you're probably not going to be able to get back on the... There's like these railroad tracks that you kind of fall off, and then you kind of get back on, and then you kind of fall off. At this point, I haven't been counting my experience exactly, but we're getting very close to 400. So I'm heading up to this town. Yeah, let's just go and show what happens in here. So this is the town of U. You enter and you go right. It's NPCs often in the way, but it doesn't matter. Just go down 1. And Mark of the Fire is about to pay off because we have to cross a lava moat here and talk to this old man. That's all. Just talk to him. He gives you the pray command, which is on the hidden second menu. So you open the menu and then hit select to go to the second menu. And that's all we got in there. We got the pray command. Okay, here I'm leaving the town, and I get sideswiped by this encounter that I didn't want. I think I don't have 400 experience yet because I usually account for a battle or 2 after the town as you're leaving, because I don't know what RNG I'm going to be at leaving the town. Only when I'm going in. But this is a 4-pack. So let's remember this formation. It's upper left, upper right, middle, and bottom left. Okay, so we go down on the chart. It is this one. See, same formation, upper left, upper right, middle, bottom left. Okay, so the numbers are 27 and 4. Those are just the base numbers, but if there are survivors, we got to use algebra and subtract off from these. So let's see what happens. So remember, it's 27 and 4. So let's see. 2 died, 3 died. Oh, they all died. So we don't even have to worry about it. The numbers on the chart are good to go. We don't need any algebra there because there were no survivors. So it's just 27 or 4, and I just have to pick one based on what's around me. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 for the status glitch, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 12. Oh, we don't need to count there because I already hit 400 experience. But yeah, if I needed another battle, then we would have used that. We would have used that 24. So we enter the town, and let's see. Finally, we're gonna open up the chart again. Talk about the ideal ones to hit. Remember, it's a cycle of 5 battles, and the first one you get is this one, the 0 on this first pattern, which is a 1 cycle, and afterwards you take 0. That's battle number 1. Okay, battle number 2, also a 1 cycle, except you take the 22. So it goes 0, and then 22, both on a 1 cycle. Okay, if you get all that, you take your 22 steps, and the next one is going to be this 9th one, where you missile the middle one, and we take 0. Okay, 4th battle, it's back to a 1 cycle, and you don't quite take the 0, but you take a 32. So you just add 32 to the 0 here. That's the 4th battle. And then the 5th battle should be big triangle, and we take 24. So one more time, it was 0, 22, 0, 32, 24. That's like top level ideal speed, because think about it, in 5 battles we had 3 1 cycles and 2 2 cycles, and like none of these other ones where you like flame something and kill it, which takes away experience. None of that, no 3 rounders, no nothing. It's just every 5 battles you're getting 3 1 cycles, which is super good. Squib found this, and I think I made a small change, but super good efficiency wise. But I think in the next section here we'll just go into the game and show what to do when it all goes wrong. So we'll see you there, and that's it for this section. Alright, welcome to the Let's Just Wing It section. Art of winging it. Winging it is much more difficult than sticking to the script, as if you just stick to the script, you don't need math and you don't need any improv. You just kind of do the same thing every time. But here we're just gonna like say, oh, we messed up. What do we do now? So first of all, you can always just look at your status and look down at the experience on your leader, which is currently 56, because we got an 8-pack of undead and an 8-pack of human. So that's 32 plus 24, which is 56. Okay, at this point I'm just gonna mess up on purpose, and we're just gonna take something random here, like, oh, we messed up. It's not gonna be an 8-pack. It is a 4-pack. This is the, I don't know, I call this the cup formation, or maybe the bowl formation of 4-pack. So you look on the chart, and it's here. There it is. That one, that one, that one, and that one. Then we got a whole bunch of numbers here. Let's not worry about the second row. Let's just focus on the 26-3 and see what happens if we continue fighting. Alright, so we repel. Remember, you repel when the right foot is highlighted. Okay, let's see how many died. Okay, we need algebra because there's 2 survivors. Feels bad, man. Okay. 2 survivors. Plug it into the formula, 2x plus 1. 2 survivors into 2x plus 1, that's 5. So we subtract 5. And now we're getting to the negatives over here, but let's just focus on the 26. Subtract 5, we're at 21. So keep a running count of that. Now we're at 21. They get to go. Count is 21. Just keep a running count. 21. Okay, another survivor. 2x plus 1 is 3. 21 minus 3 is 18. So the count is now 18. And the count is 18. So let's try 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I did some B button pushes in there. And we got close, but something went wrong somewhere. So maybe it wasn't 18, maybe it was... Maybe the reason for that is because we were actually on this row, and it was 25, so I'm one off. Which is hard to know which row you're on, so... I'm not even gonna go over that, because I don't even know. But anyways, we ended up with a 7-pack here, so now we need to wing it some more. Until we try to get back on the railroad tracks and get back to the 8-packs. So it's the bottom right one that's missing, so it's this. It's this one here. And I don't know which row, so we just have to pick this one. 312. And you go Cleric, Undead, cast when the foot is highlighted, when the right foot is highlighted. Remember the numbers were 312, 1 survivor, so that's subtract 3 because the formula 2x plus 1, you plug in the survivors into 2x plus 1 and it's 3. And so now, since it was 3, we subtract 3 from either one, or both, so 0 and 9. Alright, pass around. And it's 0, 9. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh man, we're still off by 1, which could mean that we picked the wrong row again. So this is kind of how it goes when you, but you can keep going and keep getting like 7-pack, like 7 packs and 8-packs are right next to each other. So if you miss the 8-pack by 1, you're gonna get a 7-pack. So now on the chart we are here. The left one is gone, so we're on this one. This is kind of a nice one because there's 2 zeros. So we could just work off of that. And it doesn't matter what row we're in because the same number is in both rows. So we're just gonna call the count 0 here. So keep the running count. The count is 0. We count the survivors, plug them into 2x plus 1, and then subtract from the running counts. So, oh man, there's 4 survivors. 2x plus 1 is 9. So negative 9. Okay, count the survivors again. So subtract 3. So subtract 9, subtract 3 is minus 12. I don't like minus, so let's add 32. So we're at plus 20. Because everything cycles by 32. Okay, another survivor. So subtract another 3, so we're at 17. Another survivor, subtract another 3, we're at 14. This one is really awful. So we're at 14, now we're at 11. Wow, this guy just won't die. 8. I've never seen one this bad. Okay, I think we're at 8. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And see, by keeping a running count like that, we were able to get back to an 8-pack. And this might not be one of the best 5 battles like we went over before, but now at least we don't have to do algebra anymore. We can just see what dies, look at the chart, and then see what to do next. Yeah, this is definitely not ideal, but we can work with it. So here, it's the flat triangle one of the 8-packs, which is here. 1, 2, 3. These 3. So after the battle, it's 15 or 24. Just straight up, no math, because we know already that the second cast is gonna kill the remainder here. So no math, it's just 8 packs are easy. It's just 15 or 24 after the battle, and you just kind of look around and try to come up with a plan like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See how I kind of mathed it out so that I had a couple steps left at the end to move into them? So that I'm walking into them, so I'm not waiting a long time for them to walk into me. And so then we have another 8-pack. And this will be the last one that I do here, because improving takes a lot of work to get good at, and it's easier just to not get good at it and just stick to the script. But if you have to improv, I mean, you gotta improv. So here we got one survivor. It's this guy here. And after the battle, it's either 28 or 5 steps. And we know it's a 2-cycle already because it's an 8-pack. And we know all of the 8-packs. After the battle is 5 or 28. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See how I went up 1 to give me time to walk into it. And you get another 8-pack. And now once you start rolling in those 8-packs, it's much easier to keep the 8-packs going. Because we know more about 8-packs than any other packs. And they're also the most experience possible. So anyways, that is the experience grind. You would continue on like this, try to find enemies, and oh, I didn't show this, but here, first of all, the enemies will always move up and down before they move left and right. So here I can like go above them here, they'll all go up. Nobody's gonna go right at me. So I can even be closer to them like this. And like this one's not gonna go right. They always go up and down before left and right. Also, this forest down here can be really good. A lot of enemies can just pop out of this forest. So if you want to come down here and look for a lot of enemies, oftentimes if everywhere else is dry, you can find some down here. And then the town is all the way to the north. Anyways, that's it for this section. We're going to move on to entering Castle Britannia after you've hit 400 experience. Alright, so we've hit our 400 experience, or you can go a little over, it doesn't matter, but once you have 400 experience on your leader, and now you can see why you needed a ranger or a druid, because wizard only has repel, and cleric only has undead. So you need one of these hybrid casters like ranger or druid that has both, so that you can take care of humanoids and undead, and then all of the experience can go to that one person. Like a wizard cannot kill undead very quickly because all they have is repel. So you can't have 4 wizards because you need to be able to kill undead. And now that we have the 400 experience on the ranger, and we've got the pray command from you, we headed over to castle, the starting castle. This is the castle where you start. This is Castle Britannia, and we head in here. And we head in and we need to talk to the king because the king levels the ranger up to 5. Add 1 level for every 100 experience. And he just does it all at the same time. It's like you just talk to him. The wizards haven't killed enough to get 100 experience, so they're all going to still be level 1, which is fine. And you just talk to the king real quick. Pop, 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 pop. And mash B out of there. It's just mash A to talk to him, mash B to get out. avoid this little girl. And if you're super unlucky, this little girl will wander over into this hallway and never leave and not let you through. Also, if you're unlucky, the old man in the king's room will go wander and stand on the king, and being on the sprite that is on top of the king's sprite, you can't talk to the king because the king's on the bottom, and so you have to wait for the old man to leave. So that's also awful, especially if you're on a good pace. So those two things can happen. We head over to the inn. This is important because we don't really know what RNG we're on right now. And inn gives us a way to reset the RNG because we can just save here. We talk to her and hit yes to save. Instant reset with the B trick. I'm already holding B so that we can get back in. And we do the A down A again, same as starting the run. But now this time we saved at the end. And notice the tile we're on. See how the innkeeper is right here? She's at the bottom spot, but we saved at the top spot. Okay, so right here, as we leave the town, we need to take 2 extra steps. Or you could hit the B button twice. That works too. But if we had saved at the bottom spot of the inn, the bottom tile, which sometimes happens because that's where she is, that's already 1 extra step on the way out, so you need to count that as 1. So that didn't happen here, so the count is currently 0. Count currently 0, but if you do save at the bottom spot, you do need to add 1 immediately. Usually this girl can block you, but she didn't. But if she does, take your 2 steps to avoid her. Like you dodge to the right, go down past her. There I took the 2 steps, and now we're out. And now, check out this RNG. I kind of was very amazed when I found this the first time, because the overworld RNG is such that the pirate ship and the whirlpool are right here and right next to me. I mean, it doesn't get much better than this, and it only took 2 tries to find this. It's like, okay, 0 steps, nope. Took 1 extra step, came out here, nope. 2 extra steps, came out here, up, we're done. And that's it, because these are the 2 things we need in the world. And these only exist in 1 place in the world. So the pirate ship is on 1 spot in the world, and the whirlpool is only in 1 spot in the world. So normally you have to wander around and find them. But with the 2 extra steps before you leave town, they're both here. Alright, at this point, we're mashing B to get the moons to full. And then after the moon is perfectly full on the right moon is full, you step into it. Let me confirm that I am. Wait a minute, what are we doing here? Oh, I see. Let me just turn that off for a second. Yep, that is correct. I just wanted to make sure I was correct there. Anyways, yeah, you mash B until the right moon is perfectly full. And I think those change every 4 B button pushes. And then as soon as it's perfectly full, you take a step into it. And then it should fight you automatically, and you get 1 pirate. Alright, the fight is easy. It's pass to this wizard, cast flame, pass on the 3rd wizard, on the 3rd guy, and then the 4th guy moves left. So it's pass, flame, pass, move left. Alright, pirate doesn't do much. Pass, 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 flame. So it takes 2 flames. And that's the fight. Alright, at this point, We need to keep a running count of extra steps from here until the next pirate fight. So currently the count is 0 because there has been no extra steps. But this whirlpool is not always in the same spot. Sometimes it'll be, it'll be over here. Sometimes it'll be over here. And you got to go sail around. Sometimes you'll try to sail into it and it'll juke you and you'll have to take an extra step. So we need to count the steps into the whirlpool because this is variable. But once we're in Ambrosia doing all the main stuff, we don't need to count any of that because that's always fixed. Okay, so basically we need to keep a running count of all variable steps and ignore all like mandatory steps. So here we go. 1. I think that was a 1. Yep, that was definitely a 1. I got in the ship, which is all mandatory, and then to the whirlpool, I got there in 1. But that could have been much higher, and that's fine. Like whatever the count is, it's whatever the count is, that's fine. So we got in 1. So we got to keep track. Sometimes I do this on a calculator, and I'll just put the number 1 on the calculator to remember. And we head down to Ambrosia. The route down here is always the same. We're down here to just copy this movement. It doesn't matter as long as doesn't matter exactly as long as you get up here, because there's only one path in here. You don't want to bonk that mountain there. But currently the count is still 1 because all this is fixed. Like you can't avoid this stuff. We're in here to collect the 4 punch cards to destroy Exodus. You just have to follow this path. And if you mess up, just add it onto your count. Like let's say you take a couple extra steps here. Just add 2 to the count. There's some visual cues I could talk about here. Let me take it back to this opening part. Okay. Once we get in here, this is all pretty straightforward. We're looking for the temple. This is like a zigzag, another little zigzag, another little zigzag. And then once you're here, it's past the 2 mountains there, 2 more, and then left. So it's like the 2 mountains, past the 2 mountains, you get 2 more, and then you take a left. And then you should be over the top of this mountain, and then you're through the gap into the temple. We took no extra steps, so our count is still 1 because of the 1 extra step that it took into the whirlpool. We go into the first shrine, talk to this guy, and I hit A, select up to wrap the cursor around to pray, and we just pray. And then here, you don't want to mash B because you remember that B advances the counter. It's like taking a step. So what you want to do there is mash left so that you're closing the text box with left and not B. Because if you mash B, you could accidentally hit B some extra times and add to the count, which we don't want. The count is still 1 because that's the extra step so far. So this is all fixed. It's all the same every time. We head out. Kind of hug the thing here and just go north at that double mountain until this little zigzag corridor. This is the shrine in the northeast quadrant. There's like 1 shrine in each quadrant of the map. So we do northeast first. And then here there's a little trick. So watch the movement here. The movement here is actually kind of important. Up until now, as long as you take the same number of steps, it's fine. But here you want to, out of this forest, you want to go down to here and then left into the gap. Okay. And then here I kind of take it slow because you'll see the ship there. Sometimes the ship will be gray when you get here. And if that happens, you need to scroll the ship off the screen by moving right, left. Like you just start wiggling. And then those are all extra steps. So if you wiggle right, left, add 2. If you wiggle right, left, add 4 to your count. Here, we got the orange ship right away. So the count is still 1. No extra steps. Nothing needed. This is a way to avoid this pirate fight. You kind of wiggle it back and forth until the orange ship kind of makes its way to the top of the sprite stack on that tile, because they kind of like stack all the sprites on top of each other. And usually the orange ship is on the bottom, but using this we can get it to the top. But it was already on the top when we got here, so no need to wiggle back and forth. But if the ship is gray, when you get there, you do need to wiggle until the orange one's on the top, and then count your extra steps. Count is still 1. Here we're headed to the northwest shrine. Not taking any extra steps yet, except for the one into the whirlpool. Same thing, we pray here, and then mash left again to close the text. And here you can get some wind, random wind as you're sailing across here, but that's some, not much. Yeah, we get really bad wind here. Alright, just follow this path north of the ship and go into this gap. Head south. And we head southwest. Gonna head for the southwest quadrant temple. And just kind of follow this path. This part is always the same. Oh, I didn't mention, but I should have. Oh yeah, we're not there yet. We didn't need to status glitch yet. We need to status glitch as we're leaving this third temple. So on this one, just look at the mountains here, and once you start going down here and you pass that one, there was 2 mountains on the left, there's 4 mountains on the right, and then 2 more, 1 tile to the right, and then down, and then you'll see it. Okay, this is the third temple. We get the third card here. 4 temples, 4 cards. And you want to go in the middle lane here, because then you'll just run right into them. Pray. And again, you mash down on the D-pad here to close the text boxes, so you're not mashing B. To cancel out. And then this is the first time in Ambrosia where we need to status glitch. So right here, you can see I go into the status, and I just immediately cancel out with B. And at this point, and from now on for the rest of Ambrosia until we get into the pirate fight, or the next shrine. Yeah, the next pirate fight is the next thing. But we never release the D-pad. We never release the D-pad. After you go into status here, after the third shrine, you just never release the D-pad. Just always keep the D-pad held down. And if you ever have to release it for whatever reason, just reapply status glitch and add 1 to the count. But this one, I don't think we add anything. Count is still just 1. So yeah, don't release D-pad. This is status glitch, and it makes it so that the enemies in Ambrosia don't move. So if all goes well, we won't even see them. But there are some enemies down in the southwest maze, which we're headed to now. So you go down past this mountain. and through this gap. And this maze here, it's kind of tricky. It's up, left, down, left, up, left, down, left, down, right, down, right, down at the fork, right immediately, down, right, and then up. All right, okay, now that we're here, we need the count to be 38 before we fight the pirates. And then use the fight command, because this pirate doesn't automatically fight you. So what you do is, first of all, I walk past it by 1 so I can go down into it. That's already +2. So the count is now 3. 1 from the whirlpool when we first entered Ambrosia, and then 2 right now because we went 1 extra up and 1 extra down. So the count is 3. And now I just hit the B button until we reach 38. So the next B button is 4, next B button is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You get the count to 38, and then you hit fight. This is 38. Fight. Get 1 pirate. Same strat as before. Pass, flame. Pass, move left. And then pass, 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 flame. Alright, there's an advanced strat coming up and an easy strat. I'll talk about both, I suppose, because I think I used the advanced strat here. Status glitch immediately after. That is a big mistake on my part. I accidentally took 2 extra steps here. So as usual, we keep a running count. The count is 2 because we took 2 extra steps for no reason. We're status glitched, so this whirlpool can't move, and this kraken can't move or attack us. So we just move right past it because we're still in status glitch. Remember, right after the pirate fight, we opened status, canceled out of it, and then after that, we never released the D-pad. That's where that mistaken movement came from, because since I'm deathly afraid of releasing the D-pad, I think I was pushing it too hard or something, and then we made a mistaken movement. So count is 2. And here we only have, for the good strat, we only have 5 steps of wiggle room here. And the count is already 2, so now I only have 3 more. We go up here, pray from the left. You could pray across the counter, but don't. Pray from the left. Get the last card. Mash left on the D-pad to leave. Once you're inside the temple, you don't need status glitch anymore because you have to reapply it later anyways when you leave. So don't worry about holding the D-pad down the whole time. Status glitch here. Hold D-pad. And then there's a strat where we leave the whirlpool on a 5 count. We leave on a 5 count, and yeah, we'll talk about that one first. So right here, I consider this still to be, we're still at +2. Now I need to get into the whirlpool on a 5 count, but it's 2 tiles away, so I can't just walk up into it. We need to add a step, 1 step somewhere. So we do that with status. We just go into I take a step there, and then I status. That adds 1. And so, does that make sense? Like, I was here at a 2 count, and then this was 3, and then status was 4, and then moving next to it is 5, and then you're in. So that's 5. I hope that makes sense. If not, it doesn't matter too much because there's a backup if the 526 strat doesn't work. This is the 526 strat. So this is 5 leaving, and then 26 into the town. Now, try to remember where the whirlpool was when you entered it, because when you leave, this kraken is here. And if the whirlpool is over here or something, and you enter there, then you'll leave there, and he won't be a big deal. But here, he's a big deal. He's adjacent. He's about to attack me, so we need to status glitch fast. So I immediately status, and after the 5 count, the count's reset to 0. So now we're at 1. 1 for the status, 2 for stepping here, 3 for stepping here, and then I status again for 4. And then stepping into the town is 5. In the town, we get the count to 26. 26. But the count was already 5, so then, you just have to hit B 21 times before you leave. Or you could take 21 steps, which is slower. But we get the count to 26. And we see down there is lower right guy. That means we're on the good overworld RNG. The status glitch is just opening and closing the status menu, and then as you're loading back onto the map, you're always holding the D-pad from then on. It works in Ambrosia and the final dungeon, and it works on the overworld for only a second or two, but it still works a little bit. So yeah, this is like the pro strat, 526. The slower strat, but much safer, and it gives you an extra save, is when you leave Ambrosia, you don't worry about counting, you don't worry about anything, you just leave Ambrosia and go save in the end. And that's it. And then you reset, continue, and then you take 98 steps before you leave the town. And there's various ways to count that. You can pace back and forth in chunks of 10. Squib has a way where you walk around the edge of the town and leave on a certain tile. But I prefer just pacing back and forth in blocks of 10 steps at a time. So you go 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and then 8, and then leave the town once you hit 98. That's the 98 step strat. And that'll give you the same RNG as this right here. So you'll still get lower right guy, but it's just a slower, safer way to do it. So that's the two ways. There's the 526, Whirlpool leaving Ambrosia on 5, and then 26 total, including stepping into the town, any status, and then B button pushes in the town, and then you leave the town at 26. And then you get this RNG. Or you could just not worry about anything, go save, and then count 98, leaving the town, and you'll get the same RNG. They're both the same. They both result in the same overworld RNG, which involves lower right guy. That's the cue. That's like, oh, we got it. You need this RNG. And at this point, we head over this way. And sometimes you might need a status glitch past some enemies down here to be safe, which only lasts, remember, a couple seconds on the overworld, so you gotta do it a lot. Like, let's say this guy was here, for instance, already. Like, for some reason he's fast and he's already here. And that, in this case, well, you still need to get in here, but this is blocked and this is blocked, so you're gonna have to status your way through. So he's fine though, and we go up to here, and at this point we start mashing, And there's a moon gate here, and we want to take it at half moon. You saw, watch the right moon here. I'll try to pause it. And as soon as the right moon is half, like right there, it's new moon, half moon. And this will be different on the 98 step strat, but the ideas are the same. You just want to take this portal to half moon, because the left moon is where you are, and the right moon is where you're going. So we want to go to half moon, which is here. We mash again to double full moon, and then one more. So this is the one after double full moon. We go in. Now, this pirate fight is different based on whether you did 526 or 98. And if you do 98, it's the exact same as the very first pirate that you fought in the game. It's... Let's see, what was that one? That one was you mash to full moon and then take a step. The right moon is full, and you step into it. This one is still 526, and it's a little different. It's half moon, and then I believe B twice. Yep. Okay, so you mash until it's exactly half moon on the right, this one, and then B twice, and then step up, and then let the pirate come to you. And then if your status comes up, you can close it with B for free. You don't have to add anything, and you need to, because that pauses the game basically. So yeah, in 526 it's half moon. Hit B twice more, and then step up. On 98, it's full moon, exactly step up. Just the same way as you did the first time you fought a pirate, because you just reset the game. Okay, you get one pirate. Same fight as always, flame on the second guy, move your fourth guy over, pass, 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 flame. And there you go. So this is the RNG where lower right guy was waving at you as you were leaving. And on that one, you get the one ship in the world, you get it in this little moat to the final dungeon, which is here. And you use it as a bridge. Otherwise, you normally need a silver horn, mark of the snake, things like that. And you come in the normal way. But this is like the back doorway, but you need the ship to spawn in the moat. And that only happens on the RNG where lower right guy exists. Okay, we enter Exodus Castle, status glitch immediately, which means these dragons can't attack us. We've got Mark of the Fire, so the lava doesn't hurt. Go up this way. Mark of the Force, so these tiles don't hurt. This way, and here we want to pull these dragons down, which means I want to purposefully let go of D-pad to remove status glitch. So I let go, and we wiggle back and forth a little bit. And then as soon as those dragons go all the way down to the wall, we reapply status glitch, which again is just going into the status, canceling out with B, and then never letting go of the D-pad. Okay, we take our first floors fight on the right side. And the pattern here is always the same. This is an 8-pack of enemies, basically. You just can't see them, but it's the same shape as always as all of the other 8-packs in the game. So move your leader left, missile, missile, missile. Move your leader left again. Once they're all done moving, they're all charging down at you. Missile, that's 1 kill. Missile, that's 2 kills. Missile, that's 3 kills. So now there's only 5 left. Put your leader to shoot. Reposition. Left, right, right. So this guy left, this guy right, this guy right. Okay. Leader gets a kill. That's 4 kills. Now that you're repositioned, missile, missile, missile. And pass, missile, missile, missile. This will be 7 kills. And there's 1 left, and he's in the middle. He's here. He's here. So missile, reposition into the Tetris Z formation. There it is, the Tetris Z. And then third guy ends the fight. Okay, after the fight, there's one more fight exactly like this, 1 tile to the north. But we don't have mana, so we need to mash B like crazy. And there could be a dragon coming, so you gotta hurry. There it is. There's the dragon, he's coming. So we're gonna mash. I have an audio cue for this, but you could also just open up the status to see how much mana they have. You don't need exactly full mana. I think you need like 19 on everybody, on all the wizards. And then 12 on the ranger. Or something like that, but you could just mash to full mana if you want. You can figure out how much you need with the save state. And before the dragon touches us, we gotta go anyways. So. You can't melee these invisible floors though. You have to use a spell. So the level 1 missile. And the fight is exactly the same as before. It's move, leader left, missile, missile, missile. Move leader left, missile, missile, missile. This is the first 2 turns. And that kills 3. Okay. And then turn 3 is leader starts attacking while everyone else repositions. Top guy goes left, bottom 2 guys go right. Leader kills. And these guys start on those 3. There's 4 dead already. Leader's done. He passes. And then all of these 3 get a kill. So that's 7 dead. And then there's just the 1 in the middle here still. So middle guy shoots. Tetris Z formation. And third guy shoots. Okay, that's the floors fight. That's the final boss of the game. You walk up to the water here and you're looking north and you pray. And since you have the 4 cards, you get this cutscene and it despawns the dragon. Signs of Exodus. He's waking up. Put the appropriate cards on the altar. I believe it's love, sun, moon, death. So 3, 2, 4, 1. Yep. It's love, sun, moon's death. So 3, 2, 4, 1. If you do any other order, it's a game over. Or you die. And you have to redo the whole castle. And then the final bit is just get lucky. Or if you're Toad, you're incredibly unlucky. You You grab the Ankh automatically, and the castle starts shaking. Not a lot you can do about this part. Just hope to get lucky. I wonder if you can get 2 falling rocks there and just trap you in here. That would be actually amazing to get trapped in there. Let's see. There was a rock here, and I had to dodge it. And you just try to take this path. Sometimes your path gets blocked, and there's some other paths. Like I think here you could go down. This way's faster though, but
Captain, incoming message.
you just try to get your way out without getting too unlucky with the falling rocks. If the falling rocks completely block you, this is timed, so you can just lose the run here. Not much you can do about it. And there you go, that's time. End of the run as soon as you take the last step there. And that's it. I think I covered mostly everything. And let's see, we talked about status glitch. We talked about all of the different routes out of Ambrosia to get lower right guy. Yep, we'll call that good, and this concludes the Ultima 3 updated tutorial. So long.